All right, so I just want to talk real quick about the C Tug kayak cart and the best way to put it on a Hobie Outback. This is a 2019 model. It was made in 2020, but all the ones made from 2019 and up, this is what they look like. I originally had the scupper cart, and I read too many stories about scupper holes cracking. Elias V's got a video of his cracking while he's on the water. I didn't want to deal with that. My scupper cart would get stuck in the holes, so real quick I decided I was just gonna get rid of the scupper cart and get a different solution. And everybody talks about the C Tug, so I just kind of jumped on that one. So right now I got it on the kayak, and there's another guy who's like pretty YouTube famous. He's got a whole video of him messing up with this thing. That was definitely me the first time I used this. Kayak fell off. I couldn't keep it on like straight. The kayak felt really heavy when I was carrying it, and there was just kind of like a learning process involved to this. So I'm just gonna go over kind of what I learned, and hopefully you won't have to make the same mistakes and just be able to get all the information from this video. All right, so let's talk about the weight distribution. So as you can see, the way I have it on the kayak right now, the bottom is sitting on the ground and the top is lifted. So the kind of like rule of thumb is that whichever way it's pointing upwards, that's not the way you want to be pulling it from. So right now it's pulling up from the front. So if I tried pulling this from the front, I'd be trying to keep the bottom down, and it would just feel heavy as hell. Like it's just, this would be like a stupid way of doing it. So, whichever way it's resting on, that's where you're gonna hold it from. And that's just, way easier to balance. And it's like effortless to pull it right now. So that's kind of the first thing, that you might not realize right away. The other thing is it doesn't really sit flat on the track. And I know you could probably see that gap right there. What you usually see people do is they'll put PVC on the pads with like pool noodles. And that's actually something I'm gonna do. But if you do strap the straps down tight enough, it doesn't really move, and you can take it over curves. That's just something to keep in mind. And I'm probably gonna do that mod, but you see the way I got it is in the middle of the kayak, and this is kind of the best point. Like, you think of like a seesaw, right? So you can either put it here, and as you can see, the back is sitting down. If you put it more here, like through the handles, there's another guy who made a video like that. You can do it like that, and then you can pull it from the front. I never really kind of put it the same way each time, and I'm gonna get into that also as far as like putting it on the cart. But the other thing is to adjust the straps so that the buckle sits on the side of the kayak, because if it's sitting here in the middle, you're not going to be able to really cinch it down. You want it cinched down against the kayak, kind of similar to how you would strap it on top of your roof racks, right? If you car top it like I do. But this is kind of the best way to do it right here. So that way it's against the hull and it's rock solid. It's not going anywhere. The other thing you could do obviously is put it under the H rails or the seat handles, but it's pretty good like this too. I mean, you can see it's like super taut. It's like bouncing. So the next thing I'm gonna do is show you how I put it on the actual cart. So here's the cart on the ground, and here's the kickstand. So my kickstand, I forgot to put it up before transporting the kayak. This hit the curb and it just snapped right off. So that's epoxy putty. Did the job, saved it. I mean, I still got a brand new one coming in the mail, but I mean, this has been working fine. I've taken this out twice with this, and so if you ever snap your kickstand, there you go, epoxy putty, just stick it right back together. But you want to make sure this is down, and you want to make sure this is facing the back. I mean, it really doesn't matter as long as you remember to flip it up, but this would have saved me, because if you have it in the back, the wheels, I mean, if you think about it, right, the wheels will go up first, and that gives this more of a chance to save itself. So yeah, so you want to set it really just so it stays up. Right, so like that. You want to make sure the straps are out of the way of the wheels, otherwise they'll pinch and that'll just give you a whole other headache. And now you want to angle it so that you can just pivot the kayak right on it. So you see, it's not like perfectly parallel to the kayak. That's not what you want. You want it to be at an angle, right? Because you're going to pivot it on the transporter thing there. You can pivot it on the nose, but it wants to wobble every which way if you do that. So the best way is to do it off the rear. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that right now. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. And this is kind of something you just have to get a feel for. Nope. Oh, yeah. So right now it's like super crooked on there. You can see. But you know, when you get better at it, I can actually put it on and it's pretty much on the right direction each time. But it's simple. You just tip it down, you know, crouch down so you can see it. And then that kickstand should keep it up, but it looks like it's about to tip over. And then this is really hard to do with one hand, but basically just shimmy it using the nose as like a pivot point. And you rest it back down the way it wants to go. I hope I caught that on camera. I wasn't even looking at the camera. But yeah, so you can see there's a lot of trial and error with this thing before you kind of get it perfect. I mean, you can see the wheels still aren't that correct, but and from there you just take it. Usually you run it under these or under the handle, or if you're lazy, you just do it like that. If you know you're not going to go over any bumps, you don't really have to do that. That's just like added insurance. And yeah, so that's pretty much the C Tug. You know, it's not totally foolproof system like the scupper cart, but in my opinion, you know, this little bit of extra effort is worth not cracking my scupper. Because even though the hulls are warranted by Hobie, you know, who the hell wants to go like a week or two without having a kayak, or, you know, even more probably. All right, so this is my solution to the kayak not sitting flat on the C Tug pads. So I literally just took some of those pre-cut PVC pipe lengths you can get at Home Depot and zip ties, and I just zip tied them to the padding, and that looks like almost a perfect fit. My intention is to add foam, like, you know, pool noodles to the outside of these, just so it's like even more of a snug fit, and it's, you know, it kind of just squishes down, and I don't have to worry about the PVC damaging the kayak anyway. I mean, I don't think it would, but yeah, this is looking pretty good. I haven't actually put it on top of the C Tug yet, but I will probably follow up with this. All right, so the kayak is on the modified C Tug. You can see the PVC pipe down there. It's perfectly straight. I didn't get a video of me putting it on it because that's just kind of annoying to do while holding the camera, but you should pretty much get the idea if you watched the earlier part of this video. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. This looks pretty good. And I think the PVC pipe actually has like an added feature of working as like a kickstand. So, you know, if this thing starts tipping over, you know, before I put the kayak on it, I think the PVC will catch the ground, and you know, I could still put it on from whichever way the PVC is facing down towards. So that was like a really easy mod, and that definitely made this better. So if you're looking to make your C Tug a little easier for your Hobie Outback, I mean, this is pretty simple. I mean, all you got to do is just cable tie some PVC pipe to your C Tug. I didn't even cut the PVC pipes; they were pre-cut lengths. And as far as I could tell, you know, it still comes apart just as easily because, you know, I didn't drill nothing into the pads. I just tied them right onto them, and the pads should be able to just snap off the same way they do. They're just going to have that extra length of the PVC pipe on them. But usually what I do is either put it in the trunk or put it in my car over there. And yeah, obviously that's not a pickup truck over there, so I'm going to probably make a video about how I car top the Outback. It's extremely simple, and it's, you know, without the use of any kind of side loaders or any extra hardware. But yeah, this I'm pretty happy with this. This looks pretty good. So yeah, that's the C Tug. If you guys know of a better cart system or anything, let me know. This is kind of what I'm working with for now. I've had this Hobie since December. I bought it in December, but for the month of April, that's when I first started taking it out, and I love it. This thing's awesome. So yeah, that's my C Tug. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Stay tuned for some fishing videos.